So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Muslim bin Muhammad Putra. My matric number is 1620535. So now I will present about my final year project. So this is my final year project title, which is the evaluation of user perception on e-hailing services. This is basically the outline for this presentation. For chapter 1 is for introduction. For chapter 2 for the literature review. For the chapter 3 is for the methodology. For chapter 4 is result and discussion. The last chapter is chapter 5, which is the conclusion and recommendation. So the first chapter is introduction. So for introduction, firstly I will explain about the main problem statement. So Malaysia managed to make a progress in improving social mobility in this country. However, with the progression, the transportation also has some problems such as congestion. So as we know that congestion happens when there are so many vehicles in the road. So the government also tries to reduce the congestion by implementing the public transport such as LRT. But the lack of punctuality of public transport is a major issue in transportation service. So when new transportation technology is introduced, which is e-hailing, so it becomes more popular among the citizens. So, but even with the complaints regarding the safety issues and the pricing, the e-hailing services continue to grow in demand. So this research is conducted to assess or to evaluate the perception of e-hailing users towards the services. Next, this is the objective of this research. For the first one is to investigate the utilization of e-hailing services in other countries. Second, to measure the travel behavior of e-hailing users. And the last but not least, the third objective is to evaluate the user perception on e-hailing services based on perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use, safety, and service quality factors. So next is chapter 2, which is a literature review. So next is the table of comparison. It's basically to compare the past research on e-hailing. So the comparison is being made by compare with these three factors, which is the meta-analysis, the variable use, and the result. For meta-analysis, as you can see, all three of the research use the difference analysis. As you can see, the first research is that they use a qualitative analysis, the second one is quantitative analysis, and the third one is the descriptive cross-sectional design. The data analysis method also are different, which is the first research, they use the SmartPLS to analyze the data. The third one, they use the SPSS23 to analyze their data. So for the variable use, actually there are many variables that can be investigated. So these three research use a different variable to investigate their research. So lastly, for the result, basically to show whether the variable is significant or not, and to show which variable has the highest indicator. So as you can see, the first research, all variable is significant, but for the second research, the perceived price level is not supported hypothesis. So to know which variable is significant or not is important in order for the researcher to make the conclusion on the hypothesis that they have been made in the early of the research. So for the gap of the study, which is my research is the evaluation of user perception on e-hailing services. For my method, I'm using the quantitative analysis by collecting 100 respondents from face-to-face survey, 100 respondents from online. I analyze the data by using the SmartPLS. And my variable that I use to investigate the perception is first the ease of use, second is fullness, third is services, fourth the safety, and last the perception of users. So next for the chapter 3, which is the methodology. So for methodology, survey research is conducted in this study. So survey research is defined as the process of conducting research using survey. So the data then will be collected statistically analyzed to draw the research conclusion. The additional meaning for survey research also is a quantitative method for collecting information from a respondent. So for data analysis, the first analysis is the demographic analysis, which is the study regarding relation of data on the general characteristic of community based on the gender, the age, and race. So in this research, the demographic analysis is used to study the travel behavior of the e-hailing user by looking at the percentage of each factor. So next, the quantitative data analysis is used to calculate frequencies of the variables and the difference between the variables. So the quantitative data analysis are usually related with the evidence to find either the hypothesis that has planned at the early stage is supported or rejected. So in this project, the software that being used to analyze the data is SmartPLS. The figure below shows the purpose model for perception of user. So the purpose structure model is basically represent the established link between observed data on the output and input side. In other words, the structural model is used to analyze the structural relationship between independent variable with dependent variable. So this figure is basically the aspect and the statistics to consider in the PLSM analysis. So this figure basically to show the procedure on how to analyze the data. So from the first one, we collect the data. So from the collection of the data, we have to measure the model assessment, which is we have to check the outer loading from alpha, composite reliability, AVE, and discriminant validity. This is basically to test the validity and the reliability of the data. So next, we have to check for the structural model assessment. We have to check for the R-square, the path coefficient, the t-statistic, and the p-value. So this basically to check which variable is significant and which variable is not significant. And last but not least, with the significance, we can discuss the data to check whether the hypothesis is accepted or not. So next is chapter 4, which is result and discussion. So first we want to discuss about the travel behavior. So travel behavior is basically the study on how people use the transport to travel to another places. So in this research, we basically investigate the frequency used, the purpose used, the total distance from initial destination to final destination, and the last is the average travel time. The first one is the frequency. As we can see, that majority of the user are only using e-hailing once per week. So this shows that the fare for using e-hailing or because of the movement control order might affect the usage of the e-hailing among the users. So the second is the primary purpose of using the e-hailing. From this table, we can see that the majority of the user using e-hailing service when other transportation are available. This might because the public transport is not available in certain places, and because of the huge number of the driver, it might be the reason why the user prefer e-hailing when they need a fast and comfortable transportation. Third aspect is the total distance. So based on this table, the user prefer to use e-hailing when they need to travel from 6 km to 15 km. So it shows that the people are not prefer to use e-hailing when the distance is too short or too long for them. Because for the information, the basic fare for the trip is 5 ringgit. So let's say the total distance is 2 kilometers. So they still need to pay 7 ringgit. So the last is the average travel time. So from the table, majority of the users travel from 11 to 20 minutes destination. So it shows that the e-hailing is not suitable for a long distance. In addition, some drivers might not familiar with the route when they have to travel for a long distance. So they might actually follow. So the road that congestion happens. So it might take more time to go through the traffic jam for arriving the destination. So the user might prefer the short travel time. So they might familiar with the route, so they can tell to the driver which road that they have to take. So next is the result of measurement tool. So we basically conducted the validity and reliability test to measure the data and the model. So from the table, you can see that the conv alpha, all the conv alpha for the variable is more than 0.7, which means that the consistency data is acceptable. So for the composite reliability, the larger number indicate the higher reliability. So to show that the model has the high reliability. So for the validity of the data, we use the average variance expected value to test the validity. So we can conclude that all the variable data is valid because the value is more than 0.5. So another way to check the validity, we use the formal local criterion to check the validity. To check it, basically the value of the relationship between the ease of use, for example, for ease of use, with each on variable is larger than the other variable. Next is the perception of e-hailing user. So the structural model evaluation represents the result of the past analysis result to evaluate the hypothesis of the study. The first aspect is the R-square. The R-square value represents how well data fit with the regression model. So from this table, it shows that all the independent variables are affecting the perception of the user by 58%. So the second aspect is path coefficient. Path coefficient is the value that shows the direction of the variable, whether it's positive or negative. So from this table, we see that all the variables show the positive direction to the perception of user. So next is t-statistic. T-statistic basically to determine whether the variable is significant or not. If the value of t-statistic is more than 1.96, we can conclude that the variable is significant. So we conclude that the service and the safety variable is significant to the perception of the user. So this structural model basically shows the analysis of each variable. As you can see that the arrow shows the significant variable. So both safety and service is significant, while ease of use and usefulness are not significant. So next is the last chapter, which is chapter 5, which is the conclusion and recommendation. So for conclusion, all objectives have been achieved. Next is the recommendation. So I recommend for the future research to analyze the travel behavior of the users after pandemic has been controlled. So next is to future research to investigate how other external causes may be an impact toward the perception of the e-hailing user. The third recommendation is to do the research specifically at one sector such as Kuala Lumpur, which has a lot of public transport. So it might be accurate to discover their perception on why they're still using the e-hailing, even there are a lot of public transport at the city. So that's all for me. Thank you.